I'm gonna join a contest hosted by a YouTuber with over 1 million subscribers. The only problem is, it's a Pokemon contest. And I've only ever drawn my own Pokemon once. And while I do love Pokemon, my Pokemon knowledge is pretty much limited to, well, the first 2 or maybe 3 generations. Also, I definitely underestimated how hard it is to draw Pokemon. All this stress for only 1 subscriber? But in the end, I come up with some pretty awesome Fakemon that I think True Green 7 will really like. The real question is, though, can I win the contest? You see, True Green 7 drew 3 starter Pokemon of his own, and he tasked us with drawing 1, 2, or all 3 of their evolutionary lineups. And of course, I picked to draw all 3. You know what they say, gotta draw them all, Pokemon. See what I did there? Like the song? Every Pokemon Master's journey starts the same way, by choosing their starter. So that's what I have to do now. And I don't know which one I'm going to pick. Gotta make this decision. This is so important. I got it. This one. I mean, look at this little guy. He's got all these cracked shells and he looks like he just hatched, but he's still ready to throw hands. So I need to evolve him. He's so cute and the design really stuck out to me. Even the patterns on the shell, I just love Iguana. And when I'm designing his middle stage, I want to keep the cracked shell look, but I'm going to turn it into armor. When designing evolutions to Pokemon, you need to make sure that the Pokemon that you're drawing when you're evolving it links to the previous evolution and the next one. And the way I'm going to do that is to keep some of the aspects from the first Pokemon. So I started sketching my Pokemon and then I remembered a classic water starter theory. They're all based on weapons. You have Blastoise, who is a tank. He has those guns on his back. You have Greninja, who throws shurikens, and Inteleon with those finger guns. So I need to start thinking about what weapon I'm gonna give my Pokemon. Something awesome, something aquatic, and something new. Also, I noticed with the middle stages that they're usually either awkward or temperamental, like they're going through puberty. So I went with the latter. I made him have an attitude. He's got jagged armor that came from the shell, a smirk, and he definitely splashes people when they're not looking. And he probably pees in pools. And he laughs when you say, wow, this water's getting kinda warm. Next, I move on to the inking. Pokemon line art is usually thin, clean, and has a slight texture. So I made my own custom brush to match that look. And then I got an idea. I cut off his tail. Don't worry, he's a lizard and their tails grow back. But for now, I replaced it with this whip-like stream of water. He can spin it around like a propeller to make him swim faster, and he can use it to whip enemies and to create these awesome throwing knives. That's right, his weapon is a throwing knife. And it's made out of water, of course. It's crazy, it's cool, and I love it. For the colors, I just copied the colors from the previous evolution and moved on to the rendering. And for the rendering, I wanted to keep that Pokemon feel, so I did that by using cell shading. Clean, hard shadows, no blending. And oh my god, my Iguana is finally evolving into Aquasoul. He's giving me Charmeleon energy, but he's cooler because, well, he's mine. He's my Pokemon. He's moody, he's awesome, and he's ready to challenge a legendary Pokemon to a battle. And he's probably going to win, so watch out, Mewtwo. But first, we need to train some more so that he can evolve into his next evolution. His final evolution. I know I wanted this Pokemon to look powerful, and fully realized. I kept the cracked shell look, but turned it into armor plating. Like it wasn't the previous one, but more throughout his body. I no longer wanted to look like a onesie. He's older now. The first one looked like maybe Pampers. Second one, a onesie. Third one, full-grown adult. None of that. He has more armor pieces on his shoulders, his wrists, and his knees, like knee pads and stuff. And like I mentioned earlier, I need to make sure his tail is growing back because he's a lizard and we don't want to get in trouble with PETA. But I still wanted to keep that water whip feel, so I left it at the tip of his tail. He's finally starting to look like a dinosaur, which is exactly what I wanted. He is a lizard and now he's a big lizard. Big lizard equals dinosaur. Simple math. Then I rendered my Pokemon and I absolutely hated him. Yup, I hated it. This is one of my least favorite drawings I have ever done. I liked the design of the Pokemon, like the idea of the Pokemon, but I hated the pose and the silhouette. So I needed to start over and go back to the drawing board. Ha! Pun. I almost quit, and the truth is, this Pokemon almost broke me. I couldn't get the shape right, the balance fell off, drawing fell off, everything was just off. I felt defeated, like I could get swept by a level 5 Caterpie. So I did what all smart trainers do. I went to the Pokemon Center. I got food, cleared my head, and then I trained. I went on to capture different Pokemon. I caught a Shady-Chew, a Sharkazard, and this beautiful creature right here. So now I'm back, I'm all healed up, and it's time to redraw Aquasaurus. I kept the design pretty much the same. I still wanted him to be a dinosaur with armor, but I fixed up the pose and made his silhouette better. And finally, we have the final evolution of Iguanosaurus. I think this is a great final evolution for Iguana. He is huge, he is fun, he is awesome, and he follows all those rules for starter Pokemon. I definitely want to pick Iguana as my first Pokemon, my starter Pokemon. He'd be my Pikachu. I want to catch them all, so I need to catch a new Pokemon. So next up, we have Sleef, the grass-type sloth Pokemon. He is super cute, he looks like a happy Pokemon, pretty chill, with big claws. But now it's time to evolve him. When I think of sloth, I think of a sleepy Pokemon, like Snorlax or Slowpoke. And I wanted to make my sloth, well, sleepy. So when I evolved him to have these big claws, but he uses them to gather leaves to sleep on. I wanted to keep some of the original design in there, and to do that, I kept that little grass leaf thing on his head. But I also gave him a tree growing out the top of his head, and I wanted it to resemble a dream bubble from comic books. So I gave the trunk this swirl to mimic those circles and the dream bubbles. Also, I kept that leaf on his head like I said, but I kind of made it messy to make it look more like he had bedhead, because he's a sleepy boy. For the colors, I kept the same colors as the starter, but I added some purple because I want to make him a dual type poison Pokemon. I gave him these berries on his tree and around his body, as well as some armor. I want to keep that armor feel to all my starters to make them look united. The armor is in the shape and the look of like these wooden panels, kind of like he slept there so long it kind of attached to him. Who knows? Maybe it's just growing from him. So here is Slumbark. Drawing Slumbark made me so sleepy, which also made me think about the dream I had last night. I dreamed that I was being haunted. I was haunted by a hideous creature, a shark. He was scary, but Thankfully, I was saved by Boy Awesome, the main character in my book, Boy Awesome and the Snotpocalypse, which just so happens to be available on Amazon. It has these awesome how to draw pages to teach the readers how to draw their favorite characters. So if you have a child who wants to kickstart their art journey, consider buying my book, Boy Awesome and the Snotpocalypse. With the final evolution of Sleeth, I wanted to make him, well, big, because I wanted to go with that prehistoric Pokemon. Usually grass starters are based off of, well, dinosaurs, I guess, and other prehistoric animals. So I thought of the giant sloth. And yes, that's a real thing.
Just look at this cave that scientists believe were made by a giant sloth.
That's big. I put grass on his chest and it's in the shape of one of those shirts that you normally see cavemen wear to push that prehistoric element. I love his pose, it gives him that Neanderthal look, and here he is, Mossloth. Now, he's a Pokemon I would not want to mess with. But we're not done yet. There's still one more Pokemon I need to catch. And this one is Quick Kindle. He's gonna be the last member of my team, and he's the one that gave me the most trouble. And I know I had to completely restart a Guanosaurus, but this one almost made me delete this whole video. Like I mentioned earlier, I definitely underestimated how hard it is to draw these little creatures. So first we have Quick Kindle. So I thought of different names, different play on words with quick and candle or fire. And that's when I came up with Quick Night. It keeps the word quick in it. It also has ignite, and also I can make a night Pokemon. It just makes sense because I'm drawing Pokemon with armor on them and he's going to be a knight, so he's going to be a knight in shining armor. You can already see in Quick Kindle that his beak is a silver color, so I turned that into a knight's mask. I also gave him a little chest plate to protect him a little bit and turned his feathers on his head into more of a fire looking flamey feather. But it's not fire, it's still feathers. While his first form looks more awkward and shy, this one has attitude. And here he is, Quick Night. I was so afraid to draw this one, and I think he's become my favorite. So let's see what he evolves into. I had to redraw this one about 3 or 4 times, and I don't want to show you all my pain and suffering. I mean, I cried so much, I looked like a water Pokemon. I just really did not know what to draw for a chicken. A chicken! This one got me so angry, I just wanted to order KFC. Sorry, PETA. I decided to keep on with that knight concept, and I turned him into a king, or a prince, or something like that, with feathers on his head that resemble a crown. I made him standing upright and turned his feathers into fingers. They're still feathers though, he has wings, but they look like fingers, kind of like Lugia. I thought it was a really cool idea for his silhouette to have this sword looking thing coming out, but it's just a feather. It's not an actual sword. We're not going to give him a weapon. It's not a water Pokemon. I also gave him a chest plate like armor, making him a fire and steel type Pokemon. I don't really like the way the armor on his chest came out. I feel like it was just thrown there last minute, but I couldn't really figure it out. Sorry. Let me know in the comments down below how you would change his design and keep that armor look. How would you have fixed that problem? When I was done with the inking and coloring, I realized that I wanted his feathers on his head and on his tail to no longer just be feathers. I wanted them to be actual fire. So I got rid of the inks. I felt like having the inks made it look more like it was part of the feathers, but taking the inks out made it look more like an element. Drawing the fire was a lot of fun, and I wanted to make it look real. I did that by using a lasso tool and making these different shapes inside of the fire. I finally finished, and here he is, Quicksire. I love the way he came out, and I definitely can see Pokemon actually adding all 3 of my designs to the show, with some minor tweaks maybe. Here are all 3 of my starter Pokemon evolutions. I went with a similar theme with all of them. of course with the armor look, and I really like that. Now let's see if I can win this contest.
So I posted all my artworks, my Pokemon, and I waited for True Green 7 to decide which Pokemon win the contest. He ended up making a video where he reveals the top 50 of his favorite Pokemon. So I just need to be in the top 50. That shouldn't be too hard. So I watched as he counted down. 50, 40, 30. Still, I haven't seen my Pokemon. 20. Still nothing. 10. There's two options. One, either I lost, or I'm number one. So I continue to watch. And
I didn't win? Top 50? Maybe I was 51, because my Pokemon are awesome, I think. And if you like this sort of thing, you can watch this video right here. I promise you, that one's awesome too.